right now in this pandemic, I think people are starting to realize that the virus is not going anywhere. Stay-at-home orders have been lifted, but there's still this risk, and people have to make these decisions on what do I want to do now? Restaurants are open, or can I go visit my grandparents? Can I go do this? Can I go do that? And I think that they're all often looking to me for like a direct answer, yes or no, black or white, yes, do this, don't do that. And I don't think that's the right way to do it. And I don't think I, as a physician, can actually help them make that kind of a decision. What I tell people is that there's going to be this non-zero risk with any activity we do. This is a virus that's established itself in the human population. It is a new normal. So every activity you do is going to have some level of risk of either contracting or spreading that virus. And the question comes down to what's essential to you? What's important for you to do? What are your values? And weigh them against the risk of this virus. And we do this with all kinds of risks. When we go outside, and I talk about this in the article about driving on a snowy road to go do something, maybe that's something that you think is worth the risk. And I think it's going to be different for each person. And I think we can't just dogmatically apply social distancing recommendations to people and then shame them if they don't follow them. People may make mistakes. We know that that's going to happen. They're already happening. If I just walk a few blocks, I can go to a bar and I can see people making mistakes right there in front of my eyes. But I think that's what we have. That's how we should have been thinking about this outbreak from the beginning, that there are certain circumstances when someone's contagious, for example, or someone has a high-risk exposure, that the government intervenes to prevent them from spreading, that the government also has to be really robust at the contact tracing and trying to solve some of the hospital problems that they themselves created by the structure that we have in our health system. But when it comes down to individual decision-making, I think that public health authorities in the government can give people advice and tell them what the risks are and how to think about minimizing those risks and reducing the harm that the virus might cause them. But I do think we have to move forward in a way that allows people to get back to their values, because this is not the way, this is not sustainable. This virus is not going to disappear. And I think many people thought it was going to disappear. So they thought, okay, we can do these shutdowns for a little bit and then it's going to be fine. And that's not the case. And that's what we're seeing in places like Arizona and Texas and Florida. People who think it is fine because they were lulled into this false sense of security by these shutdowns, thinking that this was going to make the virus go away, and it didn't. And I think we needed to have a more nuanced approach from the beginning, saying this is a new normal. We have to figure out a way to move forward, just like people did in the past with other outbreaks that became endemic or established in their populations. And I think that was lacking in the very beginning. And many of us in the field that tried to talk about this were kind of shouted down, and it was kind of taboo to think about some middle way forward, is how I put it, where the virus isn't running rampant and people are taking actions on the one hand, and on the other, you're not locking people in their houses and preventing them from living on the other.